Hi there, this is Mr. Santa, and I'm going to take you through the last two problems on your workbook problems related to conversions. So, here we go. These two problems, I should say, before we get started, these two problems are kind of tricky, and there they are. I'm going to walk through them right now, and I'll tell you that the key to figuring these problems out, is just to treat each side of the numerator and the denominator as separate things to convert, and then you'll keep things very organized. So the first problem, I'll just get the front part of it right here. The first problem is right here. We're going to do 4 and then we're going to do 5. The first problem is to convert 0.0487 kiloliters per second to centiliters per minute. Whoa, that's a crazy conversion right there. Okay, so I'm gonna eventually do this. I'll start off with this. 487 kiloliters. I'm gonna write this kind of strangely. I'll write it directly like this per second, like a horizontal line like this. I'm gonna treat the kiloliters as very separate from the seconds, and I'm gonna concentrate just on the kiloliters first. I'm gonna convert them. And then, after that, I'm going to convert the seconds. Now, I could start off with the seconds if I felt like it, but I don't feel like converting the seconds first. In fact, I just feel like converting the kiloliters first. So, to convert the kiloliters to centiliters, I'm going to need to go through a couple steps here. So, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to ignore the seconds for now, and that's what you need to do. Just ignore them. And I'm going to change these kiloliters into centiliters. So, to do that, I need to go through the base unit, which is just plain liters. So first, I'm going to go from kiloliters into liters. And I want to convert this into liters, so that means I need to put kiloliters on the bottom. So kiloliter on the bottom. And I need to put liters on the top. Okay? I left these blank right here because now I want to think about this. How many liters are in a kiloliter, or vice versa, how many kiloliters are in a liter? Well, if you look on your chart, you can see that there are 1,000 liters in every single 1 kiloliter. If I do this one conversion right here, then my units of kiloliters will cancel out, and I'll be left with units of liters, which is great, but I'm still not in centiliters yet, so this is going to be a long conversion. So now I want to go from liters, and again I'm ignoring the seconds here, I want to go from liters into centiliters. So I'm going to put liters on the bottom because I want to cancel liters out on top. And I want to end up in centiliters here. So how many liters are in a centiliter, or vice versa, how many centiliters are in a liter? If I look up on my chart, I can see that there are 100 centiliters in 1 liter. And if I do this, now my units of liters are crossed off, and we're left with the units of centiliters, which is great, because that's what I wanted. I wanted units of centiliters. Let me get this back here. But now I want to go into seconds as well. So centiliters, great, did that. Now I want to go from seconds into minutes. So seconds into minutes. Oh, I lost the first part of this. There, come back. There you are. Okay. So now, this is great. I can now ignore the centiliters on top. I'm not doing anything to them anymore. So now I'm going from seconds, and I'm going to change seconds into minutes. So I know the conversion factor for that. I know that a second, there are 60 seconds in a minute. So that's in my head as I'm trying to figure this out. But I'm thinking more straightforwardly. I'm thinking, okay, I want to change these seconds into minutes. So that means I need to cancel out these seconds. So I need to put seconds on top. And I need to put what on the bottom there? Minutes. That's right. And now I say, okay, how many seconds are in a minute? Or how many minutes are in a second? Doesn't matter. What's the quantity of this that equals that? Well, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Okay, now if I write this conversion factor down, this is fantastic because now I can, since there's seconds in the top and seconds in the bottom, I can cross those units off, and now we're left with the final units of centiliters and minutes. Centiliters are on top and minutes are on the bottom, which is what I wanted. Fantastic. Now all I have to do is take this number, multiply it by this quantity, multiply it by this quantity, multiply it by this quantity. Now these are easy quantities to multiply by because there's a number in the top and there's just 1 in the bottom, so it's a fairly easy thing to multiply this by. So just multiply by 1,000, then by 100, then by 60. And you should get as a final answer, if you round to 3 figures, 292,000 centiliters per minute. Don't forget your units. We work so hard to get those units, so don't forget those. Okay, so if this problem, let's just say that the units were slightly different here. Let's just say that for every 1,000 kiloliters there is a different kind of unit down here that has a number. Well, you're going to have to multiply whatever this number is by the entire conversion factor. You can't just say, okay, it's 1,000, there's a number on top, and I'm going to ignore the bottom. No. Right here you can ignore the bottom because it's just over 1, so that just means 1,000. In other cases, it might be 1 over 1,000, or 1 over 100. In that case, you need to multiply whatever quantity by 1 over 100. And for those of you who know this is great. Multiplying by number 1 over 100 is the same by dividing by 100. Let me say that again. If you have a number like 5 times 1 over 100. I kind of screwed that one up. Let me go backwards. 1 over 100. This equals 5 divided by 100. It's the same thing. Okay? So if you have a big number in the denominator and you have 1 on top, it's the same thing as dividing by that number in the denominator. Okay, I've gone through that. That's number 4. Let's go through number 5. It says convert. I think you can do 5 now pretty well. It's the same kind of process here. Ignore one of the units that you're converting here and just convert 1 at a time. So let's do it very quickly here. It says convert 9,460 kilometers per day. So that's a speed here. Kilometers per day into nanometers per second. So first I'm going to convert kilometers into nanometers. So I'm going to go through my base unit of meters. So kilometers are going to go on the bottom and meters on the top because I want to get rid of my kilometers. And there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. That's fantastic. Now I'm going to change my meters into nanometers, so I'm going to put meters on the bottom, and I'm going to put nanometers on the top. And I just know that there are 1 times 10 to the 9th nanometers for every 1 meter. I looked that up. Now I cross off my units there, and I'm left with nanometers on the top. That's great, that's the unit that I wanted. Now I'm going to focus on my units of days, and I'm going to turn that into seconds. So, day I'm going to always put on the top because I want to cancel that unit out. And what's the next unit? I'm going to go to hours. So for every 1 day there are 24 hours. Okay. Now we have days canceled off. Now we're going to change hours into maybe minutes. So hours for 1 hour. And then minutes, there are 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, so now our hours are crossed off and we're units of minutes. Now we want to change those units of minutes into seconds, and that'll be our final units. So that our minutes will cross off. We've got 60 seconds in 1 minute. If you multiply all of this out, so it's going to be this 9,460 times 1,000 times 1 times 10 to the 9th divided by 24, then divided by 60, then divided by 60, you're going to get 1.09 times 10 to the 11th nanometers per second. That's a crazy conversion. That's the hardest kind of conversion I can ask you to do. If you understand how to do that, you are a superstar. Ciao.